All right, so I watched, like many of you, the D&D starter set unboxing the other day. And first of all, I was a little disappointed. And what I mean is not that, oh, that doesn't have everything I thought it would, because technically it has everything they've said they'd have in it. My disappointment lies in the fact that I feel like the booklets look a little cheap. It looks like it starts with the table of contents and goes through. It doesn't actually have a cover or anything like that. Something simple that shouldn't really bother me. It's me being nitpicky. But, that's that. On top of that, the things that stand out to me are it doesn't give you anything. For instance, Pathfinder, this beginner box, gave you pawns, gave you flip mat. So you could basically play right out of the box exactly how the game is written and made. This didn't have that. So that bummed me out. Now, obviously, you can make your own, cut them out of paper, look up a picture, cut little 1-inch tokens or whatever, 2, 3, 4-inch whatever you want to do. But you can obviously do that on your own, and it's next to free. It's going to cost you ink and paper. But it just seems like it's not a finished product to me. It feels like something that I should be able to go to a D&D Encounters event, and that's what you're playing. It's D&D Encounters, and instead of a game master just buying it, it's like they're trying to make money off of stuff that I almost feel like they should be giving to their GMs for D&D Encounters. Because it doesn't give you character creation. It doesn't give you all of the rules. It doesn't give you everything. So, oh, that was weird. So that's my thoughts on the D&D starter set. I feel like I'm being nitpicky. I'm still excited about the new D&D. I just feel like when I buy the starter set and use it with basic, I'm not going to have everything I want at that point. So I do have the D&D Next playtest still. So I'll probably end up using that mainly. And just trying to use the rules from the new stuff and anything I can decipher. Dungeon Master Johnny had said that he was disappointed you only get like 30 monsters. And that you don't have enough. Well, I feel like 30 monsters, I could probably figure out how to make the other monsters just by looking at that. You could create a conversion using the playtest and the starter set and say, oh, if this monster went from this to this, and that was a level blah 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 monster, then that means this monster going to that level will scale this way. And I feel like that's pretty simple math for most people. Obviously, there's going to be abilities and things like that, but that's fine with me because like I've said in other videos, I like to reskin my monsters. So, for those of you who don't know what reskinning a monster is, say you don't have the book that has orcs in it. Well, you have a goblin, and the difference between a goblin and an orc is a few different things. So you're going to then take your goblin, add the things that you feel like would make it more like an orc, remove the things that don't really coincide with being an orc, and now you have an orc. It's a reskinned goblin to an orc, but you can do it. You can do it with other things too, like, oh, I only have a green dragon in this playtest, we'll say. I don't know what's in it, but say I only have a green dragon. Well, I want a red dragon. Most of us know that red dragons are usually the most powerful, so at least in D&D. So I'm going to look at the green dragon, look at all of his stats and abilities, and say, what usually makes a red dragon better? Okay, they usually have this, okay. And you can look back at the previous editions of the game and see how they varied and take that into account and, scale the green dragon up or down in areas that need to and call it a red dragon. So I feel like reskinning the monsters will not be a problem, especially with at least 30 monsters. You still have the playtest. Conversion should be possible. You might not get everything you want, but again, this is just a starter set. So I'm not too miffed about that. I do feel like 30 monsters isn't very much. especially since they said you'd be able to play this starter set for a long time until the Player's Handbook comes out a month later. Now, if you have a weekly D&D session for 4 hours at a time, you need at least 16 hours of playtime possible out of the starter and the basic before the Player's Handbook comes out. Do I feel like you can get that from the one adventure and 30 monsters? Yes, I do. And I think that it'll be fine. I just think that you're not going to have as many options at first. For some of us who are more experienced in running games and playing games, it kind of sucks. I wish they would have done the Player's Handbook out on the same day as the starter set, or maybe not the Player's Handbook, but the Dungeon Master Guide the same day, because then you could plan campaigns and be okay. So it just feels like every month that the new book comes out, people are going to have to restart a campaign. You got the starter set, so you're going to start playing using that in the basic. Well, then the Player's Handbook's going to come out. Players are going to see all these other options. They're going to be like, oh, I want to make that character. I don't like my character. So now they have to make another character to play their game. Then, after they do that, the next month they're going to have the DM's going to have new modules. That's fine. Or adventures or whatever. That's fine. They won't change too much. Now they can throw new monsters at you, so that's okay. But then you get the DM's guide. Then you get the Monsters Manual. Again, you might then out of there go, oh, well, I want to play that as a race. I don't know if that's going to be possible with the Monster Manual, but so you might have players wanting to change their mind again. Then you're going to have the DM's guide, 5 months after the game's released, and that might switch everything up with your rules and your game. So it's very possible you could be changing and starting over your campaigns like every month or so until all the products are released between now and December. So that's, I guess, my only gripe. And I know why they did it. It's so people will feel like they have the money, they can stay excited and buy the next product. Whereas if they release everything, people might be really bummed out because they buy everything at once and it's just too much to take in. And so it can be overwhelming. So, those are the pluses and the negatives, in my opinion, to the new D&D starter set and the D&D products in general. I'm still excited and can't wait to play. So with that, I'm going to end this video right there because my phone's going crazy and I need to figure out who was trying to call me. So thank you. Bye-bye.